Episode 8 From Profile to Reality. On Modern Love, Messy Truths. A Nightjar Story Vault production, created by Nightjar. And today's story? It's a wild one. We're diving into performative masculinity, the illusion of curated personas, and the comedy of unmet expectations. It's funny, fast-paced, and layered with awkward truths, all under the glow of trail mix and blindfolded yoga. This one's about the thrill and the trap of online dating profiles, the myths men build to stay interesting, and what happens when charisma finally meets reality. Let's begin. Scene 1. The pre-date drama. Online dating, am I right? Let's start with a simple truth. Online dating is chaos. At least, that's what I told myself while staring at Alex's profile for the third time that day. His photos? Selective, to say the least. The kind that scream travel magazine cover, but in a parallel universe where he's always climbing mountains or sipping lattes in vintage cafes. There was the classic ski resort shot, looking like he'd just outrun an avalanche. Then one in a rustic cafe, holding coffee like he was mid-existential monologue. And finally, standing in front of a Jeep with the caption, "Always up for an adventure." The Jeep was parked. He was holding a latte. But hey, details. His bio? A blend of motivational quotes and self-deprecating charm. He described himself as a mix between Indiana Jones and a golden retriever. Honestly, kinda cute. I like the idea of someone adventurous and lovable. Still, something in the back of my mind whispered, this could be either a jackpot or a disaster. Our texts were promising. He was funny, a little mysterious, always on the go. Can't chat now. About to climb a mountain. We'll text later. Oh, cool. Which one? Not sure yet. Could be the Alps, could be my couch. I had no idea if he was joking, but I was intrigued. He seemed like a guy who lived on the edge, or at least wanted to sound like he did. Scene 2. The big day. Fast forward a few weeks. After some mysterious back and forth and lots of vague adventure references, we finally made plans. Alex said he'd handle everything. I like the confidence, the mystery, the possibility. So I showed up early at this cozy, Frenchish restaurant. You know the type. Waiters with too much personality. A menu entirely in French, even though the chef is probably from Ohio. I was just sweaty enough to feel mildly self-conscious when he walked in. And yeah, I wasn't sure what I expected, but it definitely wasn't this. He looked less like Indiana Jones, and more like someone who'd wandered off a yoga retreat after too many kombuchas. The mountain climber physique? Nowhere in sight. The Jeep? Possibly buried under a landslide of pizza boxes. The hug? One of those awkward do we commit or just tap shoulders moments. So, how's your day been? He grinned like he'd just climbed Everest. Oh, crazy. Did this extreme yoga class in the park. Blindfolded downward dog. It was like next level. I blinked. Blindfolded yoga? That's a thing. It's about feeling the pose, embracing the chaos. Sure, Alex. Chaos yoga. Totally normal. Scene 3. The drink order. We sat down, and he went straight for the drinks menu. But instead of something normal, like beer or wine, he went rogue. Spicy margarita, please. Extra salt. Gotta keep my electrolytes up. Wait, electrolytes? In a margarita? Salt is the secret. It's hydration science. Trust me, I'm an expert. I wasn't sure if he was prepping for a triathlon or slowly dehydrating in front of me. Most people think it's about water. But salt? That's where the magic happens. I just smiled and briefly considered ordering a margarita with a side of logic. Scene 4. The conversations. Dinner was revealing. Alex had this obsession with spontaneous, borderline dangerous adventures. I'm going kayaking this weekend. Blindfolded. Wait, what? You gotta trust the river. No map. Just flow. In my mind, I pictured him drifting into open ocean, salty as ever. Sometimes I just walk to the end of my street, stand there, and look at the sky. That's my kind of hiking. So, you don't actually hike? He nodded, completely serious. I'm a modern adventurer. Nature is a state of mind. At this point, I wasn't dating a man, I was meeting a movement. Scene 5, the trail mix incident. Out of nowhere, he pulled trail mix out of his jacket. Not a snack-sized bag, a survival pack. The kind you take when you're hiking across Iceland or escaping zombies. Never leave home without it. Life's unpredictable. We're in a restaurant. He opened it with reverence, like it was some ancient treasure. And then he poured it into his margarita. Wait, are you putting trail mix in your drink? Electrolytes and healthy fats. Peak performance cocktail. And there it was. The world's first salty trail mix margarita. Witness live. Scene 6, the bill. Eventually, it was time to pay. He whipped out his card like he was about to impress the table. Swipe 1 declined. Swipe 2 rejected. This card's cursed. But it's fine. I got this. Swipe 3. Denied like a plot twist. Then he pulled out a rumpled wad of cash. The universe doesn't want me using plastic today. Cash is king. At this point, I had no idea if I was on a date or inside a performance art piece about capitalism. Scene 7. The aftermath. As I walked home, 2 thoughts swirled in my head. 1. I wasn't sure if I'd just met a lovable idiot or a highly functional maniac. 2. That was definitely not what I expected. But honestly, it was entertaining. And in the chaotic world of dating apps, that counts for something. Here's the real talk. So, what's the takeaway here? Online dating isn't about perfection or fantasy profiles. It's about showing up. Trail mix, blindfolded yoga, and all. Because beneath the filters, bios, and curated charm, connection lives in the real, the messy, the unfiltered, and yes, sometimes the bizarre. If Alex's misadventures made you laugh, cringe, or feel just a little better about your own dating life, hit like, subscribe, and share your wildest date stories in the comments. I'm Riley, and I'll see you next time on Modern Love, Messy Truths. Keep your heart open, your phone handy, and maybe, just maybe, leave the trail mix at home.